Imagine spending years building a groundbreaking software product, raising millions, hiring the best engineers, and launching with a beautiful website, only to realize that the most important buyers in the world cannot even see you. And no, I am not talking about human buyers. I am talking about the artificial intelligence agents that those humans rely on to make their purchasing decisions.
It is a terrifying reality, and it is happening right now. Recent data shows that a staggering 80% of software products are technically invisible to major AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity. You could have the most optimized traditional SEO strategy in the world, with thousands of backlinks and perfect keywords. But if your product is not machine-readable, you simply do not exist in this new ecosystem.
80% is an absolute disaster for any business trying to survive. How is it possible that world-class software platforms are getting completely shut out of these recommendations? Are the AI crawlers just ignoring them, or is there a deeper technical disconnect?
It comes down to how these AI models retrieve information. Traditional search engines look for blue links based on keyword matching, but AI engines search for what we call entity resolution. They want to understand exactly what your product is, what it does, and who it is for. If your website is overloaded with heavy JavaScript, lacks structured data, and forces the crawler to wade through endless visual clutter, you get trapped in the heavy DOM black hole. The AI crawlers cannot parse your value proposition, so they just move on to a competitor who makes their data easier to digest.
So the rules of the game have completely shifted. We are no longer trying to rank on page 1 of Google. We are trying to be cited as the definitive source of truth by an LLM. This is where Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, comes into play. It feels like the natural evolution of search, but it requires a totally different playbook.
Exactly. While traditional SEO fights for a user to click a link, GEO focuses on making your product the synthesized answer that the AI presents directly to the user. To help companies navigate this transition, platforms like CitableHub have emerged. It is essentially a visibility engine designed specifically to help software products become readable and referenceable for AI agents.
I was looking into their approach, and what struck me is that it is not just another directory for humans to browse. It functions as an infrastructure for agents. Their core metric, the Citability score, audits a product across 5 key dimensions. I think it is worth breaking these down because they serve as a survival guide for any modern SaaS. Let us start with the first one. Identity. How does an AI model define who you are?
For an AI, identity is all about a single canonical definition. It is not enough to have a catchy tagline on your homepage. The AI needs structured metadata, specifically JSON LD schemas, that clearly link your official name, your URL, your logo, and even the social profiles of your founders. Without this clean structure, the LLM is forced to guess, which leads to hallucinations. Or worse, it confuses your software with a competitor who actually has their metadata organized.
That makes sense. If the machine cannot verify who you are, it will not risk recommending you. The second dimension is evidence, and this is where I see a lot of marketing teams struggle. We are so used to writing copy filled with buzzwords.
Absolutely. AI models are highly skeptical by design. They do not care about subjective adjectives like industry-leading, revolutionary, or state-of-the-art. They look for extractable, verifiable facts. They want to see technical documentation, public code repositories, or functional API endpoints. If your site says you reduce customer acquisition costs by 30%, and you back that up with structured case studies, the LLM can extract that as a validated fact and cite it. If you just say you are the best, the AI ignores the claim entirely.
It is like writing a research paper. You cannot just make assertions, you have to provide the citations. Now, the next 2 dimensions are trust and recency. I understand AI models have a massive recency bias, which must make maintaining visibility a constant battle.
The recency bias is incredibly aggressive. If a software company has not updated its structured metadata in the last 90 days, it is 3 times more likely to be dropped from AI recommendations. The models assume that outdated metadata means an inactive or obsolete product. They prefer fresh, verified data. A visibility engine helps by constantly signaling to the crawlers of OpenAI or Anthropic that your product profile is active and up to date.
That leaves us with the fifth dimension, classification. How does a product ensure it shows up for the right buyer queries?
It all comes down to intent mapping. You cannot just classify yourself broadly as marketing software anymore. You need to be highly specific, like an attribution engine for high-growth e-commerce brands. By analyzing your platform data, the system automatically classifies your product so that when a user asks ChatGPT to recommend 3 specific tools for their exact niche, your product fits the query profile perfectly.
Speaking of technical standards, there is a new file format gaining traction that seems to be acting as a roadmap for these crawlers. It is called llms.txt. Can you explain what that is and why it matters?
Think of llms.txt as the robots. Text for the AI era. It is a simple, high-density markdown file placed at the root of your website. Instead of forcing an AI agent to waste valuable token budget reading through your cookie banners, navigation menus, and marketing fluff, the llms.txt file gives the agent a clean, structured summary of your entire site. If you make the crawler's job easier and cheaper, the model is far more likely to use your data and cite you as a source.
That is brilliant because token efficiency is a massive priority for these developers, but it goes beyond just reading static files. I understand there is a way for these agents to interact with software in real time using something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
Yes, the MCP Gateway is a game changer. Built on Anthropic's protocol, it acts like a universal adapter, a USB-C for AI. It allows autonomous agents, like Claude Code or Cursor, to connect directly to your platform's structured data. Instead of just talking about your software, the AI can actually interact with it, fetch real-time data, and execute tasks for the user without them ever leaving their AI chat interface.
It turns your passive software product into an active capability within the AI ecosystem. And the business metrics behind this shift are hard to ignore. Apparently, traffic referred by AI converts at a rate more than 4 times higher than traditional organic search.
It makes perfect sense when you think about the user journey. By the time a user clicks a link recommended by an AI, the model has already done the heavy lifting of filtering, comparing, and qualifying. The user is not browsing. They are arriving ready to buy because the AI has already validated that your tool solves their specific problem.
What is interesting is of how accessible this transition is. Setting up these profiles and generating files like llms.txt is often free, which really levels the playing field for smaller startups and independent developers who cannot compete with the massive SEO budgets of enterprise giants.
It democratizes the entire acquisition channel. In the AI landscape, a perfect Citability score and clean, structured data are worth far more than a $1 million search ad campaign. You cannot buy semantic authority. You have to build it through structure and evidence.
There is also the social proof element to consider. I recall a rule regarding how AI builds consensus. Something about 70% of your authority needing to come from external sources.
That is the 70-30 rule of brand gravity. The AI does not just trust what you say about yourself on your own website. 70% of the signals it uses to verify your credibility must come from independent third-party sources. This includes developer forums, discussions on Reddit, independent reviews, and GitHub activity. The AI cross-references these sources to build a consensus. If your website claims one thing, but the community discussions say another, the AI will flag the inconsistency and drop your ranking.
We saw this work in real time with products like OctafewSkills. Once they structured their metadata and aligned their community presence, their organic mentions in AI queries jumped significantly in just a week. It proves that these models are constantly scanning and updating their internal maps of the market.
It is a complete paradigm shift. For decades, we designed websites for human eyes. Now, we have to design them for silicon brains. These systems require absolute factual consistency. If your pricing or feature list varies between your website, your documentation, and your social profiles, the AI detects that friction and penalizes you.
So for the founders and product leaders listening, the immediate action plan is clear. You cannot wait until your traditional organic traffic drops to zero to start thinking about this. The first step is to run a scan, check your visibility, and see if your site is actively blocking the very bots that are driving purchasing decisions.
Exactly. You can get an instant diagnostic of how readable your product is to these models. Once you have that data, you can generate your llms.txt file, set up your JSON LD schemas, and make sure your product is positioned to be cited. The future of the web is not about being searched, it is about being cited. If you are not in the synthesized answer, you do not exist.
It is a new era of digital discovery, and the companies that build their technical foundation for machine readability today will be the ones that survive tomorrow. Thank you for sharing these insights, and to everyone listening, make sure your software is visible to the machines shaping the future.
Keep building, keep optimizing, and make sure you are readable. See you next time.